This is gonna be one of those occasional rants that I have because why not? So this year I've decided to finally play Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, and the first problem I had with this series dates back a few years when I first tried to play the first Mass Effect on my laptop. At the time, my problem was that, well, the combat just felt shit. But it was running fine on my laptop and it was pretty cheap to obtain it on Origin. Fast forward a bit and I've decided to play Mass Effect 2 and didn't bother trying out the first one. The pre-generated background didn't mean much to me, but throughout the game I realized that, yeah, this pre-generated background didn't really match with how I played the game, and it just kind of killed my interest to proceed with the story, even though I fairly enjoyed the game. Now jump ahead to 2023 and I've decided to give the series a shot. I had all 3 games on the EA app and then came to the realization that the first game would simply not work on modern systems. I tried numerous things to get the game running, but after half an hour the game would just simply freeze, wouldn't accept any inputs, and no matter what I did, what I changed, it never got fixed. So the solution was to pay again for all 3 games, this time under the name of Ultimate Edition, which EA tells me that it's the standard edition. I just find that funny. So I got to play Mass Effect and I enjoyed it. And I went over all 3 of these games, put in 70 hours, and I got the itch to play this series once again, maybe next year. Unfortunately, this is not the case with another game that I would like to play because it never got the same treatment. So let's talk about Grand Theft Auto 4 again.
Matt Garson is here!
Oh boy. Where do I start? So for those who don't know, last year I tried to play the game, and while I got to finish the game, I ran into multiple different problems throughout my playtime. And about halfway into the game, I realized that once I finished the game's story, I would never really want to replay it because of how broken the PC port of the game is. So let's factor all of this in. 2023, more than 15 years after the game originally came out, and the PC version of this game is still extremely broken. So the first time I played it last year, I had to go through a bunch of hoops to get the game running on a stable version, and even then, after about 1.5 hours of playtime, the map would disappear. It would stop loading in, which would mean that after almost every hour or so I would manually have to save the game, quit it, and restart it, so that way I could somewhat get a stable playing experience. A year later, now we have a bunch of goodies, more advanced options to optimize the game, and in theory this should help with the optimization of the game. I say in theory because I spent 2 whole days trying to fix the version to work on my PC, and I just kept running into problems. For some reason the game would like to get unfocused and focused. Loading times would just randomly stop and then continue after 6 seconds. Sometimes it would stop, continue, and then just completely stop the game and freeze it. I had the same map loading problems, and thanks to the newer downgraded tool that's available now, I was able to get a more stable version of the game. I was able to play pool, I was able to play darts, I was able to play bowling, go on a few dates with the in-game girlfriend,
With big titties.
and even be able to switch out the car models. However, the state of the game was always broken. Something was always in the corners waiting for the opportunity to ruin my experience. And after a few days, I just came to the realization that the best way to play this game is to play the console version of the game. What does it say about gaming? That if you look into current releases, all you see are broken versions of the games coming out. And if you look back some of the best-selling games from more than a decade ago, you either find a good working re-release of the game, or you need to hope that the game works alright out of the box, or with huge modding groups behind it to make fan patches for it. And let's not forget the other elephant in the room. How is it that all the competition of these games from that time have working PC versions and they are still viable? Yet if you look at the games that they were imitating, in some cases you can't even buy those games anymore.